Tonight, guys, we are going to visit one of New Zealand's very own authentic gold mining ghost towns.
Exactly, except this one really deserves its haunted status. It's amazing.
Apparently the amount of living equals the amount of ghosts that actually haunt the place.
Yep, St Bathans. Population of the living, 6. Population of the dead, well, 6 and counting. Places like this kind of freak me out a little bit because I'm a city boy, so I'm not used to the fact that there's just no noise. It is so quiet. And to me, it kind of borders on that beautiful, peaceful and remote, and yet almost going into that, you know, in space, no one can hear you scream type of situation. Could you imagine this place 120 years ago, like a thriving metropolis, a gold mining town with 2,000 people?
No, it reminds me of like one of those Western movies. Like, I expect to walk inside and see saloon girls and miners who come up from the lake after a hard day's panning.
Yep, hear all that ragtime music filtering out through the windows.
Ready to fight each other over gold claims that they'd had, wrestling and drunken, and the streets dirty and littered. And
the bizarre thing about this place, though, guys, is that every building that is left has some sort of paranormal energy about it, from the old school hall and the old mistress that's apparently there, or the town hall with the phantom dancers, from the lake with the miners that supposedly come out of the lake at night.
Stop it. We believe you, okay? It's haunted.
I haven't even started yet. This place here, the Vulcan Hotel, is like the epicenter of the entire town, and it's the most haunted. It's apparently a prostitute ghost, which I think we'll talk a little bit more about later on. Shall we have a look?
Let's do it.
I think we're going to need a drink tonight as well. The thing about this place is that it's just so remote. Like, I don't think out of all the places we've been, there's been a place that has been so isolated. In a way, it makes it peaceful, but in a way, it sort of sets an eerie tone.
Okay, team, here's our evidence. This photo was taken by a tourist who was travelling past and took a beautiful photo of the Vulcan Hotel. They reckon they could see, and if you look up in the top right-hand corner, a face of what they reckon is one of the miners that's come out of the lake down there.
It does look like a face, though.
Yeah.
Sure.
There's some remarkable clarity to it.
Oh, that's quite horrible.
Yeah.
The closer you get, actually.
Now, this is a painting, but it's actually a painting that faithfully represents a photograph that was taken at the Vulcan Hotel. And in the right-hand side here, you can see very clearly an outline of a figure walking past room number 1. And everyone here is just convinced that it is the Rose, the prostitute that was murdered. Apparently, she will come to you in your sleep and affect your dreams, and this has happened to guests even as recently as last night.
What did she do to them? Like,
well, various things. Some have been even a little bit ghastly and yeah.
What do you mean by ghastly?
Well, almost in a physical sense.
Okay.
Yeah, and the paranormal term for this is a succubus, a female that comes into your room at night. Now, that's why you're going in.
So I am effectively the bait.
If you'd like to look at it that way.
Thank you very much.
tell us about one of the spooky stories that's happened here for you.
I was making the bed and I put the fresh linen on the Duchess across the room. Mm-hmm. And it was on the opposite side, and the pillowcase, when I looked up, the pillowcase was moving like this.
Oh, that's so strange. Apparently other buildings in this place are haunted as well. Have you heard any stories about those or had any experiences of your own?
Not any experiences, but there's a school journal that was written. It's about the dance hall ghost in the hall next door.
And is that where a young lady saw an old sort of soldier dancing with a little girl? Is that one?
Yeah.
It's one spooky town, isn't it?
In your time here, have you experienced any kind of paranormal or unusual activity?
My partner and I were staying up here, and we thought, well, you've got to stay in room 1, ghost room and all. Next thing the footsteps started. And I said to my partner, what's that? And then footsteps stopped, and we could hear what we thought sounded like books being thrown around the room. and that was pretty weird. And then the footsteps started again, and the next morning we got up, and sure enough, in room 2, all the books had magazines in the rooms, and they were all over the room.
And no one else was staying
No,
that
it was
night?
only 2 of
just
us.
you?
And
Right.
all the keys were in our room, in room 1. And then one part of the room got really cold, so you knew obviously she was in there.
Any of the other staff members that were working here with you, had they had any unusual experiences?
Oh yeah, they've some seen her in the old dining room.
Right.
She'll just like walk past. There's something definitely here.
All right, time to suit you up. Now, these helmets have 2 cameras on, one that shows your point of view, and the other one that swings around and points at your face so that we can see all the fear in your eyes. Torch for you.
Sure that works.
You're going to need that because you are heading down to the school hall and then the town hall where they have the phantom dances. Here you go, there's your temperature gauge as well. Mr. Hollows, your equipment, that's a waterproof camera and a waterproof torch. You're going to head into the Vulcan Hotel and have a wander around, but we do know that this town has a blue lake, so we might send you a little left of field, shall we say. It's very, very dark, so be careful, and we'll be in touch throughout the night.
I've got a date with a succubus. I'll see you soon.
Have fun.
This is the home of Jeannie, or Rose as she was known, prostitute that used to live and work in these premises. It was said that she took a client of hers back into her room. They argued over the price, and then he proceeded to rape and murder poor Jeannie, and her ghost has been spotted on numerous occasions in this hotel. She's been seen walking down the hallways. There's the figure of a woman in a white kind of gown, quite tall, odd looking, but something elegant about her.
Brad, can you just talk to me for a little bit? I'm feeling really isolated out here.
Yeah, sure. Where are you now?
Just at the back of the cottage. Now this here is the way up to the schoolyard, which is so desolate. This must have been the playground. I was always a good student. Maybe this headmistress that haunts this place won't mind that I'm back. This is so insane. I can't see my way out. Brad, talk to me, please.
You okay down there?
I seriously cannot see a thing. In all honesty, it's really freaking me out. I wouldn't know if something was up in front of me, beside me.
Hey, Caro, I've got an EMF flux on my trifield meter in the back of the town hall. Can you...
Wander in and just give me an exact reading on that. That'd be cool.
Sure.
Back into the old kitchen through here. Whoa! What was that? Is there a noise through here?
That noise in the background.
Is that just a fridge that's going or something?
Yeah, there's the hum from the fridge just behind me, but I just heard a noise of like a teacup or something like that coming from the dining room. Just a teacup being knocked. Take a photo.
hate opening doors. Oh my goodness.
It's quite an interesting hall. In the olden days, when it was still a gold mining town, they'd hold like little vaudeville acts.
Rose was a singer up on stage, and apparently it got quite rowdy, so they had the cage up there to protect the performers and the singers. If you head straight ahead towards the stage, there's a little set of stairs that go up to the stage on the left-hand side, and it's on top of the piano, so you'll actually have to reach in through the cage.
Ooh. This is a horrible place. Okay, I've got your thing in front of me. What do you want me to do? Oh my god!
What was that?
Oh, something just fell. Yuck, yuck, yuck. I'm so out of here. Yeah, it was beeping. There's something in there. I'm getting out. Oh.
So this is the room in which Rose lived, worked, and died. This is where most of the activity takes place. And men would be lying in this bed, and they'd wake up in the middle of the night with like a very cold energy or force bearing down on their chest, pushing the air out of them. Hey, Brad, I'm just going to sort of be quiet for a while and still and just see if I can pick up on any kind of spirit presence or vibrations here for a while, okay?
Okay, cool. Hey, Caro, can you come down this way and head down the path?
Down to the lake.
Just getting a slight temperature flux down there. If you can check it out, that'd be great.
Something just moved in the bushes. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, something's behind me. Now it's in front of me. I've got an idea.
I have a feeling I know what it's going to be.
Can you send Michael down to the lake?
Yeah, okay. I'll send Michael down to the lake and...
I'll get him to have a look around if you want to come back to the Ghostmobile.
Michael, I just had a report from Carol and I sent her down towards the top of the lake there because we both heard some noises. So she's got a little bit freaked and has come back up, so I might...
Send you down to the lake if that's okay and have a bit of a look around.
Copy that. I'm on my way.
Thank you, sir.
What I've got set up here is 3 cameras, infrared motion detectors sitting on top of this camera here so that I can point straight down to the lake and see Michael down there, hopefully pick him up because it's quite dark and it's a huge expanse that he's having to cover down there.
Now, while this may look like a beautiful, placid, calm lake, what betrays this kind of calm veneer is that underneath this is a shadowy, watery grave. A lot of the miners that were working here at the time, if they fell tragically or were injured, if they were unable to afford a grave, they were just kind of left. So there are a lot of miners that are still buried under there today, under this watery tomb. I'm just walking along the edge now to see if I can spot any of the miners themselves walking out of the lake tonight.
Michael, I'm picking you up on the motion detectors, which is good, I can see you, but I'm picking up something strange that's off the pontoon down there in the water. I don't know how you feel about this, but I wouldn't mind you actually diving into the water and seeing what you can see.
Do you mind doing that?
Are you going to come in with me?
Well, you know I would, but I didn't bring any bathers with me, so you're on your own there. You bastard.
Will I just get changed?
I really don't envy him at all. It's going to be awfully cold down there.
I'm going to jump in this lake and see if I can find, or if they can find me indeed, any of the miners or the souls, I guess, of the miners if they're out there tonight.
Not too bad in. It's just kind of creepy. You ever seen Jaws?
Just be careful, I know it's really cold in there, so I don't want you in there too long.
Okay, I'm coming out. I'll just take one photo. Oh.
That was amazing. I'm back.
How was that?
Oh, it was pretty incredible. When because there's a shelf there, you basically walk about 10 feet and then it just plummets straight down, that's 68 meters. And so I just sort of leapt off through that. It's just kind of creepy knowing that you're swimming in someone's grave.
Morning.
Well, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
How are you both feeling this morning?
Not too bad. It's still a bit cold.
Yeah, I want to do this quickly and get out of here. I don't like this place.
You got quite freaked out a number of times last night. Talk me through it, starting with the hall.
Yeah, well, you sent me to check the reading and I was up the stairs looking through the cage. And then I think it was a mop or a broom or something just came must have fallen off the wall and just flown sort of into the centre of the hall.
I'll play you this down. This is in the hall. Nice reaction. And your piece of investigation here was superb. Your first instinct was not to go over and see what it was, but instead to run. Now, I've got an actual close-up of it, because I've been trying to figure out what that noise was, because you're saying it was a broom. But it's fairly inconclusive that there was actually anything there. There's movement, but what it is, it's a little too hard to tell.
It sounded like something falling, like that was leaning against the wall and then just falling down.
As you can clearly see from this photograph that I took just moments after you came out, there's no broom in the vicinity of the sound source at all.
No, and
Quite a
that's
coincidence
strange,
that.
Yeah.
It's more than strange. It begs the obvious question, was the noise you heard emanating from a supernatural source? You're talking about poltergeist activity, which poltergeist is roughly German for a noisy ghost. Now, Michael, we'll move on to your thorough investigation of the evening. How was your midnight dip?
It was incredibly dark, so I couldn't really see anything in that sense of even, in a swimming pool, you can, at night time, when you jump into your friend's swimming pool, you're just certain that there's a shark.
Maybe.
And knowing that I was swimming on top of the grave of those miners that had, still buried down there was doing my head in as well.
But you took plenty of photos, which was fantastic. This is one of the photos that you took, which is just randomly in the water. There wasn't much there. It's just to show that,
It was so dark underwater.
And
I had pretty limited vision. I could probably see maybe about 10 or 15 feet in front of me, but that was just torchlight.
Yeah.
It was quite hard to see anything in my periphery.
Yeah. And 90% of the photos that you took pretty much look like that.
Like that, right.
But there are a few that, well, they're just bizarre, to be honest.
Huh?
I'm not quite sure what that is.
Right. That's just odd. What the heck is that?
I don't know, but you kind of get the feeling you weren't the only one that was in the lake, to be perfectly honest. And this one, I think, is my favourite when it comes up.
Ooh.
And
I took that.
Yeah.
What the heck is that?
It looks like this whole thing is a bit of a miner's helmet with the torch on the front. So maybe you did find one of the miners.
That'll teach me to go swimming in graves.
Speaking of not being alone, this is on your walk through.
Whoa! What was that? Is there a noise through here? I just heard a noise of like a teacup or something like that coming from the dining room. Just a teacup being knocked.
It took around about 3 shots. 2 of them were with the flash, and one of them, the flash, didn't work.
Right.
Now, previous to that, you were discussing the rose and what she was wearing, and that people had seen her in the dining room, and she was very elegant, wearing a white dress.
Yeah.
And the shot that you took without the flash was that. And as we go through and just begin to light them.
Oh, that's horrible.
What is it? What is it? It's...
Oh.
Looks a bit like a head with hair and an arm and a torso and legs.
Wow.
It even looks like... it looks very feminine, and it looks like someone's reclining with a hand at the back, sort of saying "Hello, boys."
Holding a cup of tea.
Well, yes, something in the hand, but it almost looks a bit like sort of "Hello, boys" kind of thing. Hello, miners or sailors.
And it does match up with reports of apparitions, and it's remarkable to me, A, that the walls are very exact, so there's not much movement in the photo at all, and yet the figure is very blurred, the fingers look very elongated, and there's no detail to the head at all.
No, just the sort of shape.
Do you want to go back in? She's probably just over there inside. If you want to go for a second shot. Yeah, I think that's a good case to leave St. Bathans, leave them with the rose and move on. It has been a very interesting evening.
That's incredible.
This place gives me the spooks.
It is what it is. It's an apparition of a woman. I absolutely see it, and I can't disbelieve it, but my rational mind is still ticking over. It wanted more proof. It wanted to be able to see, I guess, rather than having the camera see for me.
It's amazing that you can get stuff like that on camera that the human eye can't see. Like, he was right there with that apparition and they didn't even see it. It's incredible.
It was so detailed and so exact as to how everyone describes it that it just couldn't be anything else.